Here we go, a baguette. It's got 4 ingredients, as it should, and it sounds crunchy. Let's go. 500 grams of flour. We need 1 tablespoon of salt. We need half a teaspoon of yeast. And then we need 350 grams of warm water. It should be about 100 degrees, give or take. If it feels like a warm bath, you're probably good to go. I use chopsticks because I hate getting my hands super dirty, at least at this stage. And you're gonna mix it until it's a rough shag. All right, here we've got the shaggy dough, and we're just gonna let it rest for 20 minutes so that the glutens can relax before we continue with the stretch and fold. Fold it. You just want to pick it up and then fold it on itself. And after, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them, you should feel the gluten tighten, and then it won't want to be stretched and folded anymore. And that's when you know you need to let it rest for another 20 minutes. And that's good. So 20 more minutes. All right, final stretch and fold. Again, it's had a chance to relax. And at this point, it's probably just easier to do it on the counter. You see, it becomes harder to fold it on to itself, and that's how you know it's done. You don't really want to rip it. And then now we just put saran wrap over it and stick it in the fridge for 21 hours, and then we'll bake it tomorrow. So this was saran wrapped in the fridge for 21 hours, and we've pulled it out, and you actually do a stretch and fold in the bowl like this, and then let it rest for an hour, which I've already done. At this point, you just want to divide it up into half and do a pre-shape. All right, once you've done kind of a log shape like this is the first time you're gonna shape it. Do a nice little seam on the back. I'm gonna put a little flour so it doesn't stick. And then we're gonna cover the towel to let it rest. And then you do the same thing with this other one. The first couple times I made this, I ended up with flatbread. Mostly because I didn't know that you have to have a little bit of tension when you're doing this first initial shaping, so that it builds that structure for you. By the third time I figured it out, and then it became super easy. All right, give this a rest, 20 minutes. All right, it's been 20 minutes, and we're gonna do the final shaping. And there you have it, super easy. I do like to put a little extra flour just because I think it looks nice when it's all done. Oh, this could be a little bit longer. And now we're gonna cover these and let them rest for another 30 minutes before we bake. While these pans aren't necessary, you can totally bake it on a cookie sheet. I've seen other people do it. What I do like about it is that the natural curvature, it lends itself to give that bottom of the baguette a nice rounded shape that you would see from bakeries, which I think is just a nice special touch. We're gonna put this to rest for 30 minutes, but this is the perfect time to preheat your oven, set it to 450. My oven has a steam feature, which is great. If yours does not, put a pan of hot water on the bottom rack. As it's heating, the steam will release and it will give you that crunch that you're looking for. Okay, it's been 30 minutes and these have proofed nicely. You can tell because when you push it, it should give, but it should pop back up. If it pops up immediately, it hasn't proofed enough. If it doesn't pop up at all, you've overproofed. Now we're just gonna score this. I find that just straight lines like this next to each other gives you that beautiful bakery look. You could just use a straight razor, but I will put a link of the one that I got here in my hand. It makes those beautiful cuts that a regular sharp knife might not get you. Now these go into the oven for about 25 minutes. Careful, it will be hot and steamy. Ooh. "25 minutes and it should be good to go." All right, there you have it. So I waited the 25 minutes, but it's important to note that every oven is different. My oven, 25 minutes is perfect. Now, after the timer goes off, I turn off the oven, I open the door, and I kind of let it cool down a little bit more slowly rather than just bringing it out. And you should wait at least 20 minutes before you cut into it because you will release the steam and then it makes it more dry. But here is the final product. It's still hot, but you can hear it, which is exactly what French bread should sound like.